Hi everyone, it's Wayne here, also known as ThePlantaholic. Here's my winter update 2021. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. And we've had a bit of cold weather over the last couple of weeks, and I thought it was about time to have a look around the garden and also my indoor areas where I overwinter my plants to see how they're getting on. Okay, so it's the 10th of January 2021. We've had snow and frost every night since Christmas Day, and hopefully last night was the last night of forecasted frost. We've got a mild week ahead of us, so this is the only bit of snow and ice left now on the decking. So have a quick look round, and the Brahea still looks absolutely fantastic. Fingers crossed that'll be okay. And the plants up against the house still looking good, including the pelargonium. So we'll head on down to the rest of the garden. Beautia odorata still looking great. So obviously the cannas have all been frosted off completely now. My baby Cycas still looking good, and I've just noticed there's some blue flowers just dropped off the Salvia Amistad, which has obviously been hit by the frost. It should come back from the base in the spring. That's just the last blue flower of the summer. So the Musa Bajju Japanese banana is still under wraps. If you look back at my earlier videos, you'll see how I protected that for the winter. Some more cannas again, and pedicums have obviously died back. Melianthus major is still looking good. Same as the Yucca elephantipes, and also the Acacia dealbata alpina. The first flowers are starting to come out now. Beautiful yellow pom-poms. Plenty more buds to come. Eucalyptus gunnii. Best Cornelia Eucioides. Slightly affected by the frost, but certainly fine. It certainly bounced back, no problem. And even the cordyline pink passion, which I was a bit concerned about, is fine. We've had -4 here, it's our coldest so far. Beautiful Trachycarpus wagnerianus, completely untouched as predicted. Still some ice in the bird bath. Pittosporum, County Park dwarf, completely fine. Schefflera taiwaniana, completely untouched. Iris confusa. Xanthodecia aethiopica, I've obviously turned to mush by the frost, but not to worry, that will bounce back in April. All my cordylines are still fine. The Burgundy Spire, the Torbay Dazzler, and the Red Star, all fine. Tetrapanax papyrifera rex has lost most of its leaves now, but the trunk is still firm, it's fine. Fatsia polycarpa's fine. Obviously a lot of things around this area have been turned to mush a bit, but they should come back. So the Impatiens tinctoria, that did come back last winter, fingers crossed it will this year too. Same again for my tree dahlias, Dahlia imperialis and campanulata, but those hopefully will come back from the base. We've got good sized trunks at the bottom. Sarracenias untouched from the carnivorous plants from North America. I did to about minus 20, some 20, minus 25. And the bromeliad Bilbergia Newtons, again pretty much untouched. So we'll head off inside my shed. So the propagator in here, I need to do some work in there, have a tidy in there, but most things are looking good. Temperature's been holding up nicely. 30 degrees it's set at. It's been maintaining that in my Vitapod propagator with grow lights. If you have a look at the thermometer in here, you can see that at the moment it's 2.9, but it did get down to half a degree in here, so just about frost free in here when it's -4 outside. Okay, I've come down to the bottom of the garden in my woodland garden, and I thought I'd show you some of the winter stuff starting to come through now that the frost and ice is defrosting. So we can see the lovely hellebores and a red flower buds coming through the oak leaves. And also the first snowdrops or galanthus are starting to come through now. Got primulas coming through, some more hellebore there, Helleborus argutifolius, and some narcissus or daffodils coming through. There's an arum creticum. And there's also some polyanthus or primula cultivars in flower as well. For the past couple of weeks during the cold weather, we've had a flock of redwings which are in the thrush family, and they come from Scandinavia. They're very, very shy birds. If I try and film them when I'm outside, they fly away. But as you can see, there's quite a few in the oak tree at the bottom of the garden at the moment. They love berries, so they come to gardens when the weather's cold for things like holly berries or pyracantha and cotoneaster berries. They also love cut apples, so if you have them around, do put some apples out for them to help them in the cold weather. Okay, so like I say, it's been -4 outside in the garden. Inside here in my conservatory, obviously it's frost free but not heated. You can see that all of my plants are looking fine in here. So all of my tropical bromeliads I bring in October, tip them upside down to empty the water out of the leaves so they don't rot in the winter, and then I don't water them at all until April unless there's desiccation occurring. But you can see the gorgeous colour range and variegation in the foliage, and obviously that's one reason why I absolutely love growing them. And obviously I'll put those outside for the summer months. Colocasia fontanesii, looking great still. Bilbergia windii has finished flowering, and my small Washingtonia palm is doing okay too. I've got a tall ceres on the windowsill, various other succulents, tall Ionium there. There's a Cattleya orchid in the pink pot, and it really doesn't mind the cold and dry conditions here for the winter. Cycas revoluta, my biggest one that I have, and it loves being in here for the winter. And my bird of paradise, Strelitzia reginae, doesn't mind the cold either. So yeah, various bromeliads yet again. I've got Hedychium gardnerianum. I've got a huge clump planted outside permanently, but I do like to keep a piece inside in case we have a severe winter. Jasmine and polyanthum is starting to set some flower buds on there now. That stays in the conservatory all year and gives it a lovely fragrance during April and May. My umbrella plant, or Schefflera, is looking great still. Keep it really dry, as you can see at the root. And my hardy pawpaws are looking good too, almost touching the roof. And again, you can see how dry I keep them when the weather's quite cold during the winter. So my Sonchus, if you watched my videos a couple of weeks ago or so, various Sonchus were outside in the pots. They did get a bit frosted, as you can see. I'm not concerned about that, they will be fine, but I am glad that I brought them in the conservatory to keep them frost free the past week or so. Same with my geranium palmatum. So behind me I've got some various seedlings and this big Hedychium maximum, which has never flowered for me. It needs a long growing season, but you can see it's kept loads of foliage on, so I'm hoping it will really be well fed with the foliage through photosynthesis, and it should build up a big root system and hopefully should flower for me next year. So temperature wise, it normally gets down to about 3 degrees in here with no heating. What's it got down to at the moment? It was earlier on when I looked, it was 2.8, so yeah, pretty chilly. Okay, so I'll have a look now in my utility room. Okay, so I'm in my utility room now, up against the house. It's frost free here. It's not heated, it just gets the residual heat from the house. So the temperature so far this winter has got down to a chilly 5.7, and it does normally get down to about 6 degrees for the winter, but it's a few degrees warmer than my conservatory, so it means I can overwinter quite a few plants in here that I couldn't in the conservatory. So I've got these things that here, these bananas, Ethiopian bananas or Ensetes. Kept them bone dry at the root, and I won't water them until April. All of the other plants I keep on the dry side too. They're all absolutely crammed, as you can see. I've not long watered them, about half an hour ago, and just watered the things that are starting to wilt, such as these Ensetes, but I do try and keep them all very dry so that I can put up with the cold much easier. We head on up and have a look at the other end. So you can see here my Mustia wollastonii is looking fantastic, my Impatiens niamense, and my hardy Curculigo crucipes, and also my Dendrobium orchid is looking great here too. And I keep that dry for the winter and water that in April, and then that's by keeping it cool and dry for the winter, that will help to produce flowers. So after a couple of weeks of freezing or near freezing conditions in the UK, it's due to get milder this week, well from tomorrow, the 11th of January. But media reports are saying that there is going to be a polar vortex coming to the UK at the end of January. So we'll have to wait and see if that occurs. And what's causing that is apparently about 30 miles away from the North Pole, the stratosphere is warming up to amazing 50 degrees centigrade. And when it does that, it actually displaces the cold air, so the cold air from the stratosphere sinks down, and then anything between 2 and 4 weeks later, it arrives into Europe, including the UK, and obviously they're forecasting that to happen at the end of January, beginning of February in the UK, so a lot of freezing conditions and heavy snowfalls are forecast. So we'll just have to wait and see if that happens, and of course if it does, I'll do some updates for you in my exotic garden on the channel of ThePlantaholic.